U.S. lawmakers have released more than 20,000 pages of documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, including emails that mention former President Donald Trump. House Democrats published several exchanges between Epstein and others as part of their probe into the federal investigation of the convicted sex offender. Hours later, Republicans released a larger batch of documents accusing Democrats of cherry-picking material to damage Trump. The White House says the emails were selectively leaked. Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and has since ordered a probe into Epstein's relationship with some very prominent Americans, including former President Bill Clinton. So let's stay on this story and bring in Barry Levine. He is an investigative journalist and the former executive editor of the National Enquirer. He's also the author of The Spider, Inside the Criminal Web of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, so looking ahead to what's expected today, or rather this week, the U.S. Congress expected to vote on whether to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. Of course, this comes after resistance from some Republican leaders. In your opinion, how do you think this will go?
Well, I think that there's been a groundswell of support for the discharge petition, not only among Democrats, of course, but of some Republicans who are willing to cross the aisle here. To me, this is most important, not only for the transparency. The Trump administration said they wanted to be the most transparent administration in presidential history. But this really has to do with the victims, the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The Justice Department told us that there's more than 1,000 victims in this particular sex trafficking case that extended over 2 decades. And for them to get some type of justice here, they need to see these files. They need to see everything that's in the files that the FBI had on Jeffrey Epstein. And most important to me is Representative Tom Massie, a Republican from Kentucky, who gave information to the Judiciary Committee recently. He said that there are 20 prominent men that the FBI at one point was looking into. These men are from the government. There are 6 billionaires, one, in fact, from Canada, he said. There's people from the music industry, entertainment, finance. So we need to find out what the FBI, what measures they took to look into these 20 men who may have received sex trafficking from Jeffrey Epstein, from the girls that he put out. And if so, why weren't these men prosecuted? There's so much information in these files. The American public needs to see these files, and I hope Tuesday's vote leads in that direction.
Well, we know that it still has a whole process ahead. The House, it still has to be passed. The House has to pass the bill, It would have to be passed by the Senate, signed by President Donald Trump. So anything can happen there. But let's look at what the Democrats are saying here, because we know that Trump has ordered the Justice Department to investigate Epstein's involvement with prominent Democrats and institutions. What do you make of that? Is he trying to steer the attention away from himself there?
Well, I think you're absolutely correct. I think this is a move to deflect from his own past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. The 2 men were socialites in the sense that they were both from New York. They both had mansions in Palm Beach, Florida. They began getting together in the late 1980s. We have videos and pictures of the 2 of them pictured in the 1990s, videos of the 2 of them socializing at Mar-a-Lago, standing with Prince Andrew. There's no question that Donald Trump was close to Jeffrey Epstein for a long period of time. Donald Trump says that he broke off with Jeffrey Epstein when Ghislaine Maxwell began taking young women from his Mar-a-Lago spa and taking them to Jeffrey Epstein. Apparently, this happened more than once, and this break occurred in 2004. It was subsequently thereafter that the Palm Beach police began investigating Jeffrey Epstein.
But we're still seeing this divide now within Trump's mega base. Let's talk about how he's now revoked his support for Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was one of Trump's fiercest defenders. She's now criticized his handling of the Epstein files. She also supports the House vote that's happening this week. And then now we're hearing President Trump now calling her another, quote, fake politician. What does this tell you about the divide between Trump and his mega base, specifically on this issue?
Well, specific to this, I think that we have never seen the splintering of the MAGA base. And the issue that has splintered the MAGA base is the Jeffrey Epstein files. His supporters, well before he became president, have wanted to see these, have wanted to believe that there's been conspiracy theories related to Jeffrey Epstein, related to prominent Democrats, others in government, and they had been pushing for a long time for the release of these files. And certainly this past July, when his Attorney General Pam Bondi said that they were not going to release the files, that they conducted an investigation and found out there had not been any blackmail. There had not been anything beyond the fact that Jeffrey Epstein took his life behind bars. This